Zach, how helpful is it, the fact that it's you and Tyreek rushing the quarterback and it's somebody that they have to worry about on both sides?
Yeah, it's I've definitely noticed that my game has gotten better when Tyreek plays more. Because it's who you're gonna slide to. You leave either of us one on one. We're both capable of winning the majority of our one on one matchups. So it's guaranteed one of us gonna get one on one almost all the plays, and I've all faith in him that he can get pressure on the quarterback, and he got the same faith in me.
Far left, Jared Smalley, WCMH.
Hey, Zach. Michigan this season's among the best teams in the country preventing preventing sacks, preventing tackles for loss. You all last week not only got to the quarterback, but you were very active with your hands, slapping balls out of the air. Was that emphasized as just another way to affect a quarterback? How does that affect you moving forward?
Yeah, that was one of our our goals for the week is to affect the quarterback, and that's something that we always have in the D-line room. But in the defensive meetings, we emphasized it last week. And if you can't get home, put your hand up. Coach says a batted pass is the same as a sack almost. It's a new set of downs for the offense, and they got to they're behind the chains. So it's something that we emphasize and we worked on every day at practice.
Third row left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Zach, to not get the opportunity to play Michigan last year, you lose one of those opportunities. Does that make this game, even more important to you?
I mean, this game's as big as it can get every single year. So, as much as added motivation, there's really not much. We got to play a team on North, and we got to go get a win.
And there's a lot of guys on this team who haven't played them yet because you guys didn't have the game last year. What do you maybe say to some of the younger guys to make sure they understand just how big this game is?
They know. The second you walk into the building, you know how big this game is. We train for it every single day of the off season, every single day of the year. We got this game in the back of our mind and know it's finally here. And those guys who haven't played in the game, they're excited, to get a chance to go play a team up north.
Front row middle, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Zach, could you just kind of give your analysis of Michigan's defense or Michigan's offense? What kind of challenges they pose to you guys?
It's kind of similar to last week. They're a run-heavy team. They like to stay on schedule and like play action pass off their run game. They like to run the ball a lot, and that's something that we got to do a good job of keeping them off schedule.
You mentioned the way that Tyreek can make you better. Michigan's got two great defensive ends. I don't know. Do you study them at all? Are you familiar with them?
I mean, I know both of them. Yeah, I know both of them. They're both pretty good. They're both really good players. They're 97. Aiden, he's a senior and he's a big, strong, physical guy. And then David Ajobu, he's the same guy. He's a long, bendy guy. He can get around the edge. They're both good players.
Right next door, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Zach, when the game was canceled last year, how did you process that?
It's just tough. You put in all this work in and you don't get a chance to good show it on the field. But it was COVID year, so you really can't control what went on.
The fact that at that point in the year, were you guys used to having games canceled almost?
You're not really used to ever having a game canceled. It's kind of weird. You practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's like, oh, game's canceled. So you're like, oh, well, I guess on to the next opponent, That's kind of how it was last year. It was a weird year.
Front row right, Austin Ward, Letterman row.
Second. What do you think is the single biggest difference in this defense from week 2 to now?
I'd say confidence. Confidence. Just keep playing better and better. We keep getting better and better, and it's guys notice that, and guys are, like I said, you play with confidence. You play so much better. You play faster. You play more physical, and you just that belief in yourself really helps you play better.
It's sort of a weird sort of debate, right? Like you have to play better to get that confidence. Mm-hmm. When did you start to feel like that maybe was shifting for the whole group?
I would say I felt like we really clicked after that Tulsa game, and Akron was next. It was a plan. We had to go in there and felt like we had to make a statement. We had to play our best ball to that point. I feel like we did that. I feel like we've been rolling ever since.
Fourth row middle, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Zach, you obviously considered both these schools in your recruitment. I'm curious how much you pictured this game and being on either side of it when you were deciding between the two and visiting and those type of things.
Yeah, I definitely imagined playing back in high school, playing on both sides of this game. But I'm here now, and that's really all that matters. I'm a Buckeye, and we got a job to do on Saturday.
And when you visited Michigan, was it as emphasized in the recruitment as it is here?
To be honest, I don't really remember. That was 4 years ago, a long time ago.
Go deep left, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now and Sports Illustrated.
Couple things, Zach, kind of maybe building off what Pat just asked you. You made the comment that the young guys who haven't played in this rivalry yet, you said they know. How much in the recruiting process was it talked about, like, hey, this game is as big as it gets?
I mean, I already knew because I'm from here, so I know, growing up, 4th, 5th grade, I knew what it was. I knew that Ohio State and Timber North, it's not a lot of love between those teams. And growing up and getting the chance to go visit there and visit here and seeing both sides of it and enrolling here and really getting a full, the full grasp of what this game means to Ohio State and what this game means to everybody in this building, outside of this building, has made it that much more important to me.
You use the word confidence as something that you've noticed growing on the defensive side. What is your impression of how much more confident your offense is in watching them surgically move down the field routinely?
Watching it every week, it's like, I feel like they just can't, I feel like they feel like they can't be stopped, and that's what we feel like, they feel like when we're firing on all cylinders on offense, it's a tough challenge. We got a receiver room that is the best in the country. I feel like our 3 receivers can go to the NFL right now and be a top 5 receiving core in the NFL. CJ, like I said, can get the ball anywhere on the field from anywhere. Our O-line, I think, is the best in the country because I go against them every single day. And Trey and Mayan, what they bring to the table, and Master Teague as well, running the ball. You got to pick your poison, it feels like.
Far left, Justin Holbrook, WCMA.
You mentioned this game in 4th, 5th grade. Do you know what your first memory was about watching this team? Do you remember?
I remember I was watching with one of my friends on my couch. That's pretty much all I remember. I remember Team of North and Ohio State playing, and I remember again watching a few years back in my other friend's basement, the game where it was like, I don't remember the score, but it was the game after the 2017. I remember that game very vividly, watching it in my friend's basement, and they were all cheering and everything, and I was trying to be neutral because, I was recruiting everything and didn't want to tip my hand and everything, but yeah, I remember that.
Being an Ohio guy, did you ever visualize yourself being a part of that game? And now that you're in this moment, what is that like to reflect on of having that dream and now it's almost here?
It's a dream come true, growing up here and watching that game and knowing the history behind it and knowing what it means to people in Columbus, being able to go out there and play in it is a huge honor, and it's something that I don't take lightly.
We'll do the 3rd row right, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Zach, how old are you?
20.
20. And during your lifetime, Ohio State is 17-2 in this series. Is it still a big-time rivalry from your viewpoint? Explain why it's still a big-time rivalry.
It's the biggest rivalry in all the sport, I think. And, explain it. You just got to feel it. I don't know. It just is, It is Ohio State, Team of North. Is one of those rivalries that always been there and always will be here, and it's our job to continue that legacy.
Right next door, Doug Maurice, Cleveland.com.
Zach, Michigan threw the ball to Donovan Edwards 10 times last week. It's kind of his biggest game to date. What did you note of that, and how do you prepare for maybe a guy coming out of the backfield that's going to be part of the passing game?
We get the game plan today, so we'll see what our coaches have in store for him. He's a good player, and like you said, he catches the ball at the backfield very well, and that's something that we gotta pay attention to.
I think on the second play of the game last week, you dropped in coverage on Jaden Reed. You're like boxing him out. Can you just take us through that play? And I don't know, that seemed to be maybe an encapsulation of what kind of player you can be with your size and quickness and that kind of stuff.
I was just doing my job. That was my job on that play, and and I feel like I tried to play my part 1 of 11, and that's what I tried to do.
A shout out in film watching or anything on that one?
No, it's just one of them do your job plays,
We'll do deep right, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Zach, you're a captain and tone setter for this defense, but when you see Haskell do what he did in the skull session, or you hear that, and then you go out on the field in the first play of the game, he completely blows up a Heisman Trophy candidate running back. What does he do for your defense when he sets the tone like that from the first snap and even before that in the pregame?
It creates energy. When Haskell made the play, I just felt it. The defensive energy just kind of took off, and we're celebrating on the field, having a good time, and that's when I feel like we're the best. We're playing, having fun, celebrating, making plays. that's what defense is about. Defense is about energy, and that's what, you know, Haskell does a good job of bringing.
A bit limited during the middle chunk of the season, whatever he was dealing with. You guys still played really well as a defense, but do you feel that he's back and fully healthy and really making an impact now, or does it feel the same as it has during this entire defensive progression? What does he do? What does he bring you guys when he's fully healthy?
Like I said, you know, he's got really good big playability. You know, like I feel like he's always got the ball in his hands somehow, and that's something that a lot of these tackles don't have. Like, how do you always find your way to pick up the ball? You know, that's something that you really can't teach. Just like I said, the big playability, and that's what he brings. And like I said, a bunch of energy. You know, I love playing next to Haskells. I know he's on the same page I am, and along with the rest of the D-line, the rest of the defense. You know, when you have a defense that's all on the same page, and like I said, playing together, having fun, it's going to be hard to beat.
Got time for just a couple more. Front row middle, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
As you said before, Michigan a very run-heavy offense. They haven't taken a lot of sacks this year, but it seems like they avoid them at a higher rate than that, just because they're not running the ball that much. So, what are you seeing on film as to why they've been able to do that, and what does that mean for you guys on Saturday?
It just means we got to get after them even more. You know, it's every week the games get bigger and bigger, and that's what Coach Day says. And, you know, big-time players show up in big-time games, and that's what us as a D-line we're trying to do. We're trying to impact the game and make sure we leave our footprint on the game.
Does it seem like they get rid of the ball fast? I mean, that's kind of their approach. And then how do you, as a defense, how do you counter it?
You know, like you said, you know, if we can't get home, get our hands up, passing lanes are, you know, clogging those up, closing the pocket, making them uncomfortable is, you know, like I said, we always want to get sacks and get in the quarterback, but quarterbacks can feel it if there's guys in the pocket and he can't just sit his feet, you know, just throw routes on air pretty much. That's what we try to avoid.
And final questions over here, far right, Clay Hall, WSYX.
Ask Coach about walking in that tunnel down to the field at the big house. Anything crazy ever happen in there for you as a freshman? You were a freshman.
Yeah, I was only there once, and it's just a good atmosphere, you know. You go in there and playing away is fun because, you know, you get to be the bad guy, and you know you hear the boos, and it kind of gets you motivated, kind of get you going.
There's a little rumble in there as you were you beside them?
It's like the locker, it's like ours and theirs. So like, I was in the back. I was a freshman, so I really, you know, I got the back end. They already left, and then the senior guys left. I was just kind of trailing, so I don't really have any fun stories for you. You know, locker room to locker room. I wish I did.
Great, Zach. Thank you very much.
Yep, no problem.